Good morning and welcome back to beautiful St. Petersburg, if slightly rainy today. I hope you're ready to see some splendid luxury.
I'm not talking about us, but at the Peterhof Palace right behind us. Beautiful palace built by the Russian tsars to rival Versailles in France.
And then later today, if we don't get washed out by the rain, we're going to do a beautiful river cruise along the Neva River in St. Petersburg and dine like they did in the Soviet times. But first let's make it inside because it's raining. Come on.
Exciting, come on, let's go. Only garden?
So it's pretty hard to read the actual admission categories and ticket prices because it's only written in Russian. People don't really speak fluent English here, but that looks very promising up there.
We got the tickets. We have tickets to the lower part. Apparently the ones for Grand Palace you need to buy inside.
And the good thing about the rain is these are the ticket offices. Ain't nobody there because no one wants to visit here inside the rain.
Apparently there's a limited number of tickets. There's still 300 left for today, so we're going to get in line. Hopefully we'll still get in. Otherwise, that would suck.
Yeah, especially since our last day in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
But here there is quite a line waiting for tickets, but it looks like less than 300 people, so we should be good. And inside there won't be rain, so that's also great. We made it, but just check this out. This is incredible. I've never seen a room with this many mirrors.
No, it's like the room of mirrors and gold. The ceiling is very beautiful as well. Really, really impressive. We've been to the Winter Palace, which was cool. I think this is like the first or second room we come in.
Yeah.
And it feels a lot cooler.
Yeah, it does. And there's gold just everywhere. The chandeliers.
Really impressive. Can you imagine living here or dining here?
Did you say dining?
Crazy. Dining.
Dining, yes. I'd like some food, but no one's been offering any. Look at that ceiling. Wow. I think I'm pretty close to getting kicked out of here because that lady over there just got pretty mad. Apparently I set off some sort of alarm because I was leaning over this little cord that's supposed to rope off the forbidden area. I was trying to take a better picture of the tablecloth and the setting, and because it just looks so wonderful. There are so many people here. It's unbelievable. And the alarm authority was like, no, back in the line. First room with no people in it. It's almost incredible. There are a lot of tour groups here. I think probably any time of day, but literally every room you walk into there's a tour group in front of you or behind you. Or too bad I don't speak Chinese, because if I did, I would be able to hear some of the historical things about Peterhof. So that seems to be it.
Very impressive, really beautiful. I highly recommend coming here.
Yeah.
But it's a bit shorter than we expected. I think we did 10, 11, maybe 15 rooms. I don't know. We're expecting like this huge palace where you could walk around for hours. So maybe we also like skipped a few rooms. Like, okay, this doesn't look very special. Because we're expecting like it would last 2-3 hours to get through it.
Because it's one of the biggest palaces in all of the European continent. It's built to rival Versailles, and in Versailles you can easily spend half a day. Here, I don't feel like you really get a feeling for the size of the place. I mean, the epicness of the rooms is just... It's the most beautiful room, most beautiful palace I've ever seen.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, I saw Versailles, it was really amazing too, but that was 15 years ago, so I can't compare. But otherwise, yeah, for sure, it's one of the most beautiful palaces ever.
Check that out!
Wow, just look at this. These are the famous lower gardens of the palace. The beautiful fountains, all statues are completely covered in gold. I've never seen this in my life, really, it's amazing.
That is amazing.
Every statue is covered in gold. Very shiny, beautiful design. The staircase is covered in marble and gold. And wow. This is the most impressive thing I've ever seen, I think.
Just the sheer size of the palace behind it. And all those fountains, whoa. This is crazy. So Peterhof is essentially a series of gardens and palaces located in Peterhof on the northern coast of Russia. It's an hour outside of St. Petersburg. You can take a bus here or you can take the hydrofoil, which is a sort of boat here. The main attraction is the Grand Palace. You can visit the museum and you can also visit a lot of other stuff. There are a lot of smaller palaces as well, but one of the main attractions is also the lower park where we are right now and where this beautiful waterfall right behind us is located. It's called the Grand Cascade, and out of more than 100 waterfall cascades and fountains all over the park here, it's the most famous one, it's the most impressive one. It's absolutely stunning. And in the middle of the cascade is a really big statue of the Greek god Samson fighting a lion and holding his mouth open. And then the fountain shoots out of the lion's throat. Peterhof is commonly known as the Russian Versailles, and it was built by Peter the Great I, who was the first Russian tsar, legend has it, to travel outside of Russia. And when he visited the French court in the beginning of the 18th century, he saw that Louis XIV had constructed Versailles, of course one of the grandest palaces to ever have been built. And he saw it, and he was a very westward-looking emperor, and he was like, we need something like this in Russia. So he had this built beginning of the 18th century, and I've never been to Versailles, but from the pictures I've seen, I can imagine that it rivals it pretty well. Can you imagine living here?
It would have been the greatest thing on earth, I think, to be able to live here. This palace, these beautiful fountains, all the space in your small little garden.
Your small little garden.
I cannot really show you this, but the garden is, it's not even a garden, it's like
huge.
A park. It's like one of the biggest parks I've ever seen.
It's enormous. The amount of work that must go into just taking care of the terrain and the gardens, and it's incredible.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Having lived here like 200 years ago would have been such a cool experience. Wow.
Yeah, just a bit over the top maybe, but
a bit over the top, while people were dying of hunger and stuff. Hey, cannot have everything. Poor people.
We're going to make our way back to St. Petersburg.
Time for the next stop.
Yes, time for the next stop. See you there. Hope you're hungry.
So we're at Pushyashnaya. They sell traditional Russian donuts here. It's a very famous place. I think it's the most famous donut place in Russia. And we're going to get some. But the line is huge. You're standing from all the way inside to all the way outside onto the street. And they look really delicious. And they're cheap too, at about 20 cents a piece. Apparently the tradition is, I don't remember, I think it's 5 or 6 that you eat each per person. A bit too much maybe, but at least I'm going to take 3.
You can see people getting their donuts. Looks pretty good. 5 or 6 maybe a lot, but then again, do we really want to mess with tradition? Not sure.
So we obtained our 6 donuts. When we entered, the line was just on the street, but was still like right next to the door. In the meanwhile, there's 30 meters of line outside and then another 20 meters of line inside. So it's a huge amount of people. So let's find out if the donuts are worth it. Got the bag full.
Oh, fuck. Is it on me?
Just in your face?
Oh, damn it. I just entertained the entire line of people standing there, queuing for donuts. I was just trying to hold the cup, close my coat, and I was gonna say something, but I could feel my chin hitting the zipper, so I was like, I have to lift up my face. No, it didn't.
It feels like there's a storm. It feels like there's a storm coming. Wow, it's very windy. We should have stayed inside though.
Yes, we have picked a beautiful day to do the river cruise. But the thing is, it is a beautiful day. I mean, look. Sky is completely blue. How's the donut?
They're really good. Very fluffy. Crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside.
Oh.
Some sugar on it. Oh, sugar is going in my face. Really good. Highly recommend it. And the queuing didn't take that long, to be honest. I mean, it was a long line, it only took us 10-15 minutes, so.
I'm if you're hungry, I can see myself eating 5 or 6 of these.
Yeah.
They're really good. You can tell by the queue.
The nice thing about walking around in St. Petersburg is you've got nice buildings everywhere around every corner.
I expected St. Petersburg to be smaller and feel smaller.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about the fact that it used to be the imperial city for hundreds of years. So they made, wow.
Wow.
Just arrived at St. Isaac's Cathedral. It actually looks like it's straight out of the Vatican. Straight out of the Vatican,
Wow,
no?
that's really impressive. It looks really grand on the outside with these beautiful pillars, the golden dome. You can climb it all the way to the top and have a beautiful view all across St. Petersburg. So that's what we're going to do now.
Oh no, it's happening again. We're climbing more stairs. Yay! Height of the colonnade, 43 meters. Amount of steps, 262. Come on, work off that lunch. They actually count it down for you. It says on the steps when you still have 200 to go, 181. Oh yeah. Right now in St. Petersburg, it's so far up north that you have what they call the white night, which is the fact that it doesn't really get dark anymore. The sun only dips a little bit behind the horizon. And that means that the sun starts to go down steadily a little bit at around 5 or 6 p.m. And you have this very long golden hour that lasts almost all the way through midnight. That is the first time I have ever had to ask someone who's standing in the street selling tours if I could maybe just please buy a tour from him. Because this guy stopped us in the Palace Square a few days ago and he was like, I have a boat for you, most beautiful boat on the Neva River we've seen so far, glass of champagne, best price we've had, you can sit inside, outside, you can choose the time. We were like, no, we have some plans for tonight, but today we wanted to go and we almost missed him on the square. We are queuing up, waiting for our boat right now. Apparently there are two boats. The other one is just like seats all next to each other and a bit of glass over it. This one has a restaurant and a bar and music apparently.
Хорошо, у вас будет столик на верхней палубе. Проходите прямо, за баром направо. Пожалуйста.
So the canal cruise is setting off. Cheers. Glass of champagne to start with a good trip.
Not too shabby. I guess now I understand why a lot of the people that were waiting with us at the pier are very fancily dressed because apparently we have a fancy boat, which is nice because we were unaware of it. I don't know if we paid extra for it. Probably a little, but then again, there is a glass of champagne, so it could be worse. We have ordered ourselves a bottle of champagne. After we had just one glass, we thought, we're gonna be on this boat for 2 hours. A bottle may not hurt, and we'll be able to finish it anyway. And we ordered some appetizers as well. And so far it's been really nice because these canals actually snake all through the city of St. Petersburg. It's a very big part of the charm of the city. St. Petersburg is often compared to Venice actually. It's called the Venice of the North because of how many beautiful canals it has. And Peter the Great actually always intended it to be like this big naval base and a city of maritime trade, and you can still see that because there's a lot of life here on the water, a lot of boats, a lot of big trade ships as well. It has a very important port and the views you get from the Neva River are just incredible. I mean, you've seen so much stuff already, things we've already seen like the Winter Palace, and also so many things like beautiful bridges that we otherwise never would have seen, so it's really beautiful. And the boat itself is pretty nice as well. You have live piano music. I'm not even sure if you can hear me over the music. We have some champagne, there are appetizers. Life is good.
Cheers. Our appetizers have arrived. This is fried smelt. Smelt is a fish that's very typical for St. Petersburg. It only exists in the Neva River, which is the river that we're on now. This is the really typical dish for St. Petersburg. It's fried with some homemade, fresh-made tartare sauce. It's really good. It reminds me a bit of the small sardines that are fried at the Greek restaurant.
That was a really nice boat ride. I mean, boat sounds a little bit underwhelming, but it was a cruise experience. There was some lovely drinks, there were some appetizers, there was some sun, there was a cool boat, live music. It was really nice. And it was worth the extra champagne. And it was worth maybe the extra bit that we paid compared to the normal boat. It was really nice. 10 out of 10 would recommend to friends and family.
Our next stop will be the Soviet Cafe. It's a restaurant that's designed to be like this Soviet apartment, like 30-40 years ago during the Soviet era. They have some typical Russian food, some local specialties, and that's where we're going to eat right now.
So right now we are in Kvartika, the Soviet Cafe, which is a restaurant that has been completely designed in old Soviet style, so as it would have been 30-40 years ago, and it actually looked like you're inside someone's apartment. It looks really cool, and the menu is also pretty old school, and we ordered a whole bunch of stuff because we're hungry. Curious to see what that's going to turn out like, but it's pretty cool. It's something different. It's maybe a bit cliche, but I like it so far.
So, on starters, meat pies. The pastry is just completely filled with meat. Crunchy on the outside, soft and fluffy on the inside. Meat is just really well seasoned with some onion in it, a lot of spices. What else is more Russian than vodka? Nostrovia.
She feels so comfortable.
Really makes you feel Russian. Da. Beef stroganoff. It was actually invented here in St. Petersburg in a stroganoff building.
So this is actually a beef-based dish which has some beef tenderloin strips in it, and then there's sour cream in the sauce and a lot of mushrooms.
This doesn't need any words. It's good.
How do you feel throwing your vodka onto the table?
It was a sad, sad day. Let's have a moment of silence for that more vodka. Right here on the table. It was just an amazing day. And tomorrow evening we're leaving for Moscow. We're taking the night train. It should be a cool experience. It's the first time for us taking a sleeper train, so that will be very interesting. Thank you for watching our videos, and if you want to see more and join our adventure of our 12,000 kilometer overland journey from Brussels to Beijing, you can subscribe to our videos. If you want to be notified, hit that bell button, and we will see you in the next one.
See you in Moscow, one of our favorite cities in the world. Cheers!